You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on. www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for a daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 2nd day of July, 2019. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. That's what matters, right? I don't have a chart up yet, but I will in just a second. If you can't see it, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On those days when you're out of the office, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. There you will find a live real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds, thanks to the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. All right, let's bring a chart up. That'll work. Crude. Big move down in crude today. The indices have been moving sideways in a range. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Crude fell out of bed. We had a Concierge Trade Alert last night to consider being short 58.80. We do know that important prices in important areas are almost always tested. So on the first trigger, we dropped down to the weekly trading zone at 58.55/60. It's a $200 per contract move. Now, we expect a weekly trading zone, when price approaches it from above, we expect it to be good support until it isn't. We also expect important prices in important areas to be tested because they are. We hit the zone, we bounce all the way back to the zone overhead from 58.60 to 59.50. Actually, the swing high was 43. It's an $800 per contract move. Back down, trigger again. Now, over here, I said we expect it to be good support until it isn't. This is what isn't looks like. So we trigger again. We do another drop, this time from 58.80 to 58.24. $500 per contract move. And we get back above the trigger one last time. And this drop takes us to 56.65, which is a weekly trading zone. These are all this week's zones on the chart. So we have a $200 drop, and then an $800 zone-to-zone move, and then a $500 drop, and then a $2,000 plus per contract drop. Now, for those traders who have earned the right to trade 10 contracts, this is a $20,000 per contract move over the course of 1 hour. These are 30-minute candles. 1 hour, 2 hours. Now let me talk about that for just a second. I talked about it yesterday. It's worth talking about again today. You should not be trading 10 contracts just because you have enough money to trade 10 contracts. Because if you do, soon you won't have enough money to trade any contracts. When I say earn the right, here's how it works with us. If you're a partner or passport holder, as you begin to learn our methodology, you trade in SEM using our indicators and our method till you become consistently profitable. We want you to put together 10 consecutive days in a row where you reach your daily goal in 10 trades or less. Once you do that, the blueprint, the 24/20 blueprint, will give you the green light to go live with one contract. Using one contract, we want to see you increase your account balance by $2,000. The reason for this, when it comes time to add the second contract, once you've increased your account balance by $2,000, you'll be underwriting that second contract with profit you actually earned in the market. Now, the 24/20 blueprint is designed to take you from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. So as long as everything goes well, there's no hitch in the giddy up, and there always is, but in a perfect world, you go from 1 to 20 in 24 months, all the time using aggressive risk management and always underwriting the next additional contract with profit you earned in the market. The first contract, you got to finance that some way. So the money under your mattress, in your piggy bank, in the cookie jar, wherever that comes from, that's your business. But after the first contract, we can't encourage you enough to only add additional contracts with profit you earn in the market. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers from around the world. We'll start cash markets here in the U.S. When I'm done with that, we'll go to Michael, get a recap of what happened in the live training room today. I'll be back. I got a bit of news. I've been talking for a week or so about Bitcoin and watching for that drop below $10,000. We'll look at the chart when I come back. Now we spiked well above it. Now we spiked below it. I think we could spike below perhaps a couple times. What we're watching for is the time that we pull back to 10, huge psychological number, when we pull back to 10,000 and hold. From that point forward, I think we could see a meteoric rise in the price of Bitcoin from 10,000 to the all-time historic high at 20,000. Could it happen in a week? Yes. Could it happen over a couple days? That would be scary, parabolic. Parabolic never seems to end well, but it could. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just watch and see what develops. Okay. Cash markets around the world, starting here in the U.S., currently the Dow is down 26 points. NASDAQ is down 14. S&P 500 is down 2. The Russell 2000 down 12.5. In the commodity basket, crude oil down $2.17, trading 56.92 last. That's a drop of a little over 3.5%. Gold, go gold, up $19.20, trading 14.0850, and that's a little over a 1.25% gain. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 24 points, Shanghai lost a point, and the Hang Seng added 332 points, which is a gain of a little over 1%. And to the European markets at the close, FTSE posted a gain of 62 points, almost 1%. The DAX added 5, and the CAC added 9. That gives us a mixed day in Asia, a green day in the UK, and currently it is a big red Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. Let's go to Michael, get a recap of what happened in the live training room. I'll be back with facts, figures, a chat with John, all that, and answers to your questions. Take it away, Michael.
Excellent. I will take it away. Here we go. There we go. Let me put the other stuff up too. There we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd day of July, 2019. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. And over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial. Apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, you'll be brought to this page, where all we ask for is simply that you give us your name, your email, your phone number. And if you want, you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can try to tailor the training to you. Hit the send button, and then you'll be sent all the information you need to get into the live training. Okay? All the information you need to get into the live training room. Now, the spreadsheet, well, we had another green day today, but I wish I could have put my mouse away. We missed a whole bunch of trades. I only took 5 trades this morning. But if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 2nd day of July, 2019. We made 5 ticks in crude, we lost 8 ticks in gold, and we made 4 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 20 on the morning session. I know that's not much, but wait till you see the trades I missed. We did a lot of training this morning. Bert came in and was talking about micros and stuff like that. And, we're talking about options and micros and the differences between them. And so it was a good training day today. But anyway, this morning it took 15 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, it was up $100 a contract. And we took a total of 5 trades. So on the month now, we're only up 127, but we're only 2 days in. On the year, we're at 14,675. That's over 115 days, averaging 127 per day. So where we are in the month is what we average per day. And that's over the whole year. Okay, so let's look at gold. We had one trade on gold and we stopped out on it. But let's see what we missed here once it populates. There we go. Okay, we started out right in here. We missed a long trade right here, and a short trade right here, and another long trade right there. And then we finally took this long trade right here, and it stopped us out, and then it went and did what it should have done and put it in a higher swing. Now we skipped this one because the cycle was flat and in the middle. All right, then it looks like there was another one right here, but I'm not sure why I didn't highlight it. But it looks like there. $1,400 number, and then it got through it, and it traded around it for a little bit, but then it just took off above it. So that's good. John will have all kinds of information about that when he comes on, I'm sure. Right here was a long opportunity. This is during the break now. It was a long opportunity there and there. And then it tried to change directions. And yeah, it tried to change directions, but it was unable to. You see down here in the slingshot, when the cycle gets down below the green line, that's price trying to change directions. But what it turned out to be was just a cycle reset. And what happens with the cycle reset is you get a big leg up that's going to drag the cycle back up. And then you get a higher swing. And then you get some more long opportunities, like this one right here. Okay. It did manage to change directions in this move right here. Okay. And we have bearish separation down here. That means that the cycle, which is the red and blue line down here, is below the green line. And right there, it bounced off the BBC. And it's getting pretty choppy right in here. With the green line being all the way down into the cycle like that, we should have gotten lower and put in a lower swing. So it may not actually be a complete direction change, but there was a shorting opportunity that would have been a break even right there. Okay, on the euro, we didn't do anything with the euro today. There was one short trade right here that we missed. And it looks like a long trade right here that we missed. And really nothing else. The euro didn't give up very much today. The crude, I put the weekly trading zones on the crude today. I think Suresh asked me to put them on. And so I did. And you can see how the zones have been working with the crude oil. Okay, it went up to the zone, went down to the zone, went up to the zone. So it's I don't know, I don't usually put them on the crude because it will eliminate too many trades for me. But this area right here, last Wednesday, when price was up at 64, I think, something like that, I was saying look for price to get back down to this level within a week. And, well, there it is. It got down below that level. It was 57.85 is what I said last week. But on the crude, our first trade right here was 5 ticks. Then we had a break even. We missed a short there. I had another break even. And we missed a bunch of trades in here, right there, right there. Now, it started going into the low of the day here, so there were some things that we couldn't do. Then it was going into the zone right here, but there was still a shorting opportunity right there that you didn't want to pass up. Then it consolidated at the zone, it dropped through it, gave another shorting opportunity right there. And it looks like it gave another one right in here too. Okay. Then it changed directions, tried to give a long trade, but it didn't. Went back up, hit that zone, came back off it, gave a shorting opportunity there, and another one there. And it came all the way down to this zone. Let's see. Now we're getting into the break, but there was nothing in there. Nothing you could do there. This was a short right here, but going right into the zone. Change directions. It was a long right there. Tried to change directions again, but it didn't make it. Yeah, there was a long right here. And went right back up to the zone and stopped there. Okay, on the ES, we had just one trade today. Right there, we took 4 ticks profit. That's where we got our goal for the day, 945. And the ES came back down, tapped the zone, and then made this big run up, but it didn't give a trade setup on the way up right there. It didn't give a trade setup. Changed directions, and right in here, had a shorting opportunity right down to the zone. Okay, and then we get into the break here, and it was just consolidating during the break. Okay. Now, excuse me. Okay. Yeah, back to this. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 2nd day of July, 2019. We made 5 ticks in crude, we lost 8 ticks in gold, and we made 4 ticks on the ES. That was plus 20 on the morning session. Today it took 15 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 5 trades. So after the first 3 trades where we got the goal, we had 1 break even and 1 stop out. On the month now, we're at 127. I know that's no big deal, but it is early on in the month. On the year, we're at 14,675. That's over 115 days, averaging 127 per day. Now, that is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. And you saw how many trades I missed today. I missed a ton of them. There was a bunch of money to be made in crude oil today. Here we go at CFRN.net. If you have not taken a free trial, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column, it says supply.cfrn.net. Just click on that, and you will be brought to this page where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us your biggest trading challenge, and we can try to tailor some of the training to you. Okay, hit the send button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must, hit the send button, and you'll be sent all the information you need to take the free trial. Okay. Okay, and that's it. With that, we can pass it back out to Studio A, where Dwayne should be, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. Oh. South Mountain. Nice.
That's a true story.
Nice.
Okay, let me grab the charts.
Okay. And let me see, did John make it in yet?
I haven't spoken to him yet this morning.
Okay, yeah, no, he's not in yet.
Okay, got my charts, yeah.
Yep.
Nice drop in crude, eh?
Yes. It's a beautiful drop.
Did the daily double trigger? I know with the Concierge Trade Alert triggered and the Logic triggered, did the daily double, were we below this? I think the entry was 56.60 on the daily double. Is that right?
56.50.
50, right. Okay, so we haven't triggered. Oh, and then on the ES, we're talking about the possibility the swing trade could get stopped out. The swing high was 29.73 and a quarter, and the published stop loss was 29.74.
Wow. That was close.
Yeah. So I know somebody mentioned last night they were biting their nails. Go get your nails done. I think we're going to be okay. So, all right.
Yeah. Now that we're down below that weekly trading zone, if we could just stay down there and make it down to the next one, that would be awesome.
Yep. Now, the target is just now. Smart people ask, Mr. Reeves, based on everything you tell us about these weekly trading zones, why would you put your swing trade target just the other side of a zone? And why would you put your stop loss just this side of a zone? It would seem, sir, that your target should have been just above the zone and that your stop loss should have been just above that zone. And I said, maybe next time, if it's a Sunday night, maybe I'll do the weekly trading zones before I put out the alert. It wasn't until I put out the alert and then I did the weekly zones, and then I said, I wish I had done that a little bit different, but hey, it's worked out a-okay. And I would actually like to invite Bert, what he said this morning in the live training room about those micro E-mini contracts. Okay, I just lost audio again. So I'll just keep talking until it comes back and I can also hear you. I did have a conversation with one of the support folks at GoToWebinar. And of course, first words out of his mouth, well, oh, that's your internet. Okay, now it's green again.
Okay.
So
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I've learned to watch the little icon where it says sound check on the GoTo interface. When that goes pink, I know I'm not hearing whatever's being said. People can still hear me. And so anyway, I had the support guy on, and he his first, oh well, that's your internet. I go, well, you know, I don't think it is. I can listen to YouTube. I'm streaming live data, and the live data gets through without a hitch, but the audio drops in and out. So he's monitoring right now this broadcast, and they're going to try to get to the bottom of it and figure out what it is. But they're working on it.
Well, they usually do.
Yeah, so I've still got the issue. So now this arrow here, guys. For anyone if you're not participating in the swing trade beta, Valerie, when she has a moment, will put the link into the chat box for you. The entry on that, well, here I'll bring it up and show it to you. And I was pretty sure we were going to hit that stop this morning, and then we didn't. Okay, so this is a beta. The first alert that we published it Sunday night. So they're being short the ESU 9, 2967 to 2945, 22-point target, and a 7-point stop loss. If you want to participate in this, Valerie, just keep an eye on the chat box or email support@cfrn.net. Now the first trigger over here, and it's important, please hear me, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Well, the first trigger we dropped to 55.50. So if my math's right, it gave us 11.5 points. Yes, there's a 22-point target, but 11 points is really nice. And we know that important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Now, I know that in most trading methodologies and strategies, if you have a 22-point trade, once the thing goes 11 points, if you do nothing else, you should be bringing that stop to break even. How many times have you done that and got stopped out? And I'm talking about bigger time frame stuff. Okay, that's a good distance. Just it makes good sense to bring your stop to break even, unless you understand that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. This doesn't apply to a quicker time frame like the one we use in the live training room. That's a little different. But here, if I know there's a high probability that price will come back to test this before it goes to this, I have to be judicious in moving that stop loss. in the live training room each day, we teach you aggressive risk management, and we're very fastidious about stop movement. Once we have 4 ticks profit in a trade, doesn't matter which market, S&P, gold, crude, we take the stop to break even. That is rules-based trading where you don't have to think. All the thinking's been done. You simply have to show up and do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. This is discretionary, so it's a little bit different. You have to make a few decisions. And Mark Douglas makes a good argument for why would anybody ever want to have to make decisions when there's a way to do this without having to make decisions. And he makes a good point. So anyway, we came back above the trigger. It gave us 11 points. Got back above the trigger. This time it dropped to 59.75. So 7 points. Yeah. Gave us 7 points. Got back above the trigger. Dropped back down to the zone. So 4 or 5 points. Back above the trigger again. And this morning when it got above, that's when I thought that it would take us out. And I said this in the live training room if you weren't there. I said, if it does take us out, I will probably reissue the alert with probably the same numbers because the premise for the trade would still be in place. But the swing high was 73.25 and the stop loss, the published stop loss was 74, just above that. So this isn't genius. This isn't rock star trading. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then. And so I found an acorn this morning. I want you to think it's more than it is. Now I'm going to show you something really important. This isn't luck. This isn't happenstance. This happens all the time. I'm going to put the indicators on. Okay. Now, see where the arrow's pointing? It's pointing at a bearish cross that happened July 1st, yesterday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. The price looks to be 29.72 half. Okay, there's the time. If you look at the vertical line on my cursor, it shows you 11:30 yesterday, and the horizontal line shows you the price that the bearish cross took place. Now, the thing I want to draw your attention to, and I typically show this to you on the daily chart, but everything we do is fluid across all markets and all time frames. So now, Tim and I were watching this on the overnight Globex, probably about 3 a.m. Eastern. He's adjusting to new time zones, and well, I'm always up. So we were watching this, and I drew his attention to this. Tim, did your stop? I forget where you moved your stop to. Tim's stop might have got hit, or when we came back down, he might have gotten out. But anyway, this is an important price, important area. But a bearish cross right there. Price pulls back up to it, finds good resistance. That's what we would expect. It was a bearish cross, so when price comes up to it, we expect good resistance. Sent it back down to the zone. When price approaches the zone from above, we expect it to be good support, till it isn't. So if this is good support, it's going to try to send price back up to the zone overhead, but it couldn't quite get there because we had new dynamics. See, this is fixed support and resistance. This is dynamic. In other words, it happened intraday, intra-week. Price pulls up to it, back to the zone, back up to it, back to the zone. From this area here, where Tim and I were watching it and talking about it, should be good resistance. At 29.72, down to the zone at 64. That's an 8-point move. So we had 8 up, 8 down, 8 up, 8 down. That's 32 points inside of a zone. Now, what we, of course, want to see to complement the swing trade would be for the price to continue down. We know this is an obstacle right here in our path. This previous swing low, remember, it gave us 11.5 points initially before the pullback. If price can get down there, it should be good support, at least for a minute. If it can get through that area, then it would allow it to come on down to the zone and the target. And by the way, anyone that's in this, I explained to you why the target is on the south side of the zone. I wouldn't encourage, and I'm not going to change that midstream, but I would encourage you, start thinking about, if you're riding with part of your position, if you're riding this thing down, start thinking about heading for the exit at 48, 29.49. Hey, if you got out here with 11 the second time, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Michael, did I ask you for the recap of the recap? Oh, the thing just went pink right as I asked you. Oh, Joan, I'm going to ask Bert to come on the show. Joan just asked, what was Bert's best advice about the micros this morning in the live training room? I've been looking for a reason to be interested in them. And because I see a lot of other people that seem quite pleased with them, and I just couldn't see the reason or the purpose. And he gave us some thoughts this morning that I can see where it might be beneficial to some folks. And I'm going to ask him if he can pop in to the show here tomorrow morning and just kind of repeat that whole discussion. So hang on for that, Joan, or just call Bert if you'd like to just ask him directly, 866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Okay, so you're still in, Tim. Excellent. That bell's for you. Yeah, Michael, did you get ready to say something?
I didn't. You were just talking, so I didn't want to talk over you.
Oh, sorry.
The recap of the recap.
Yes, sir.
15 minutes, three trades, $100 per contract.
Oh, that's right. I was there when it happened. I rang the bell. 15 minutes, right. 3 trades, and what'd you end up at? $100.
Right. That was
bingo.
$100. Yep, it was exactly $100. We took 4 ticks out of the ES to get there.
Now, those of you that have been on the trial with us, been in the training room, you might question, because in 15 minutes, he had his goal for the day. So I'm sure some people are going, well, maybe you should have a bigger goal. Okay, hang on. Or, wow, that's 15 minutes. You're just going to go play hooky all day after you work 15 minutes? Well, some days it takes 15 hours, okay? So there's a trade-off there. And you have to teach yourself, because I remember the first time I got my goal in 15 minutes, except I was trading way over my head when I first started trading futures. I was trading the Russell, and the morning bell rings at 6:30 a.m. here in Phoenix. So by 6:45, I had made $5,000. I was walking on air. Number one, I was trading over my head. Number two, I didn't have enough sense to just put the mouse away at that point, because, hey, it's 6:45. I might be rich by the end of the day, or I might owe the market money. And I did. I finished negative that day. I went home shell-shocked. I remember driving home in the truck going, oh my God. Oh my God. By the time I got home, I had reconciled that, okay, if you can lose that much in a day, you can make that much in a day. Don't worry, you'll pick it up tomorrow. But when I came through the front door, there's no fooling my wife. She took one look at me and she goes, what's wrong? I said, nothing. She goes, we've been married too long. I know you, that what's wrong? And I'm like, just leave me alone. I'm going up to my office. So the good news is you don't have to go through that, folks. You can learn from our mistakes. We have that $100 per contract goal every day, because that represents 2 points in the S&P 500. Now, we get our goal in whatever market hands it to us first. It could be gold, it could be crude, it could be the euro. we're not choicey because we use the same method and the same indicators on every market. But that 2 points a day in the S&P, that's kind of our benchmark. I've yet to see a day since 2005 when I was introduced to futures. I've yet to see a day that the S&P 500 did not offer a directional move for at least 2 points. Talk to people all the time who are getting started in trading. They're talking to me about their business plan, trading plan. You know, I'm not greedy. I just want to take, like 10 points a day out of the S&P. And I go, okay, pull up a chair. Let's talk for a minute. Because it's not every day that the market hands you a 10-point directional move in the S&P. And if you're going to get those 10 points by clipping it, 1 point here, 2 points here, 3 points here, every time you enter a trade, you're exposing yourself to risk. You're also making yourself available to the opportunity, but you're exposing yourself to risk. What if you could just expose yourself to the risk once and avail yourself to the opportunity once and be done? Now, you're not done in one. It's not one and done every day. But it does happen some days. On the days that it happens, put the mouse away. The days that it doesn't happen, don't get upset. Remember, you love trading, right? So this is an opportunity to practice your craft, to come from behind the 8 ball and get your goal, whatever that is. And we believe that 2 points a day in the S&P, which translates into $100 per contract, that's very reasonable, that's very doable. And of course people go, well, okay, that sounds good, but I can't pay my bills on $100 a day. Maybe in the 80s or 70s, but not today. I have good news. The S&P 500 is extremely liquid. How liquid? Let's take a look. Here's a daily chart of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. Yesterday, we cranked out almost 1.4 million contracts. That's on Globex and Wall Street combined. So far today, we're at 704,000 contracts. Also, on the S&P, day or night, you will see a tight bid-ask spread just like this. Typically, if you got somebody on the bid, like here at 60, 75, you got somebody offering at 61. I rarely ever see a gap or a spread in the price ladder. Now, what that means to you as a trader, if you're trading the London Open or the Asian session or the day session, when you get ready to buy, to go long per your methodology or strategy, there's somebody right there ready, willing, and able to sell you whatever you want to buy. Once you've made your goal for the day, and if you bought to get in, you got to sell to get out, there's always somebody there willing to buy what you have to sell. Unlike stocks, equities, where you may have to sit on the bid forever to buy at the price you're interested in, or you sit on the offer until somebody comes along that's willing to pay whatever it is you're asking. With the S&P, you can get in and out like that. No waiting required. You may not get the price you want, but you can get in or out like that. Anything you want to add to that, Michael?
No, that's our theory. Our motto has always been make a goal achievable. You can establish your own goal. It doesn't have to be $100. It can be $150.
Right.
But it's got to be something that you can achieve. So if you can consistently achieve your goal day after day after day after day, then it's just a matter of contracts. And the ES is liquid enough, and it gives, just in the 2 hours in the morning session, I don't think we've had a day, in the last month or so, where we haven't had a single trade set up in the morning on the ES. And we've had some pretty choppy days.
We have.
And, I think, everything that Dwayne said is...
And whatever money it is that you need to earn, whatever you need to earn to pay your bills and to put something away, you can do that with 2 points. You don't need 10 points. 2 points is plenty. You just have to add contracts as you earn the right to add contracts. I talked about that at the beginning of the show. It's important that when you add another contract, that it's underwritten with profit you earned in the market. On this crude trade this morning, that's a $20,000 per contract. It's a $2,000 per contract move. If you've earned the right to trade 10, it's a $20,000 per contract move, and it happened over the course of 2 hours, 4 30-minute candles. And
John's in, by the way.
Stopped right where we anticipated it would at a weekly trading zone. Okie doke. John, your mic's open. Welcome to the show.
There he is.
Good to have you with us.
Hi there. Great Tuesday to everybody. Listen,
Indeed.
this is I told you yesterday, gold could snap back very fast. And
it sure did.
Didn't have to wait for the Fed. The news, I believe the reason why gold, well, there's two reasons. Number one, Mike Pence's plane, Vice President Mike Pence, was she is rumored to replace Draghi at the ECB, which means just continuous, as Trump calls it, forcing of money into the European economy to, as far as the eye can see. In other words, QE to infinity, as Jim, what's his name?
Jim Rogers?
I can remember his name now, but the gold guru.
Jim Rogers?
Jim. Oh, jeepers. I'll remember.
I'm not thinking of it either.
Anyway.
So go ahead.
His favorite expression is, look, this is the guy who called the lows in 76 and the highs in 1980. And his little quote is QE to infinity. And that's what's really going on right now. I sent you that thing this morning about what's going to happen if the bonds, go up and the interest rates go down. That's already happening. We just went below 2%, and if you can bring up that chart on that email, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. It basically projects gold, into the thousands of ounces per ton, and potentially, thousands of dollars per ounce, and potentially $10,000 per ounce, within like 4 to 8 years. So it's a huge deal. But the thing is, these corrections in gold, while they're hard to buy, you got to do it, because in a bull market, the surprises are on the upside. If you remember, at the beginning of June, I remarked, you remember when it was, I think it was June the 3rd, it was a Tuesday. It was the day we went up 500 points plus, and we were only up like 50 points in the morning when I put out a tweet and said, this bull market's going to run into September, right? And I remarked a few days later just how incredible the buying was, just staggering amount of buying that was just moving stocks up really rapidly. And that's what we saw with gold today, just a stunning turnaround. We saw a little bit of an up move overnight, and then this stunning turnaround this morning where all of a sudden we're up $20. I mean, this is a big deal.
It is.
We had a $35 move up and I did say yesterday the silver did not go down below about 1507. It's already 1520. It almost got back to 1530. 1530, 1535, 1550. It's a very critical level for silver. And not only that, on the gold, we've had a three-wave pullback. As I said yesterday, it looks like we're making a three-wave pullback. the next projection on gold is just staggeringly more bullish. I mean, we could be up to 1,500 before you know it. I'm not kidding. I really believe it's going to happen.
This silver looks good, John. This is a daily chart.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's dynamite. I mean, listen, you're going to see an explosive up move in silver. And look, they're forcing money into the economy, and they're going to lower rates. It's just fantastic for silver. It's going to be very, very bullish. So and it's. I mean, look, what's the point? What's the point of lowering rates? Get the economy, really on fire, and that's bullish for silver. So it just looks great. And it's probably going to run away to the upside. It's actually creating a very dynamic kind of a structure. Look at the palladium today. I mean, we're approaching all-time highs in palladium. The platinum is coming back from a pullback here in the last few days. But again, once we go north of about 850 on the platinum, we can see a very, very fast run to the upside. So the gold, and then look, here. How about this? We just went up. I mean, we went up to 1442, right? Was the high. Remember, we had 1440 as a target. Came down to about 1386 or something yesterday, and gold, royal gold. It was starting. I don't think it was even at an all-time high when we hit 1440, right? Well.
Look at this bullish engulfing candle right here, John, on gold. I hadn't looked at this on the dailies. Look at this.
Yeah. Look at that. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
It's extremely powerful. And it's a kind of you'll see it's a three waver. If you go to a 30-minute on that, you'll see or maybe an hourly or 3 hourly. You'll see it. No, you need to go to probably a 3 hourly. You need to go
3 hour. Okay.
Yeah. Now you can see the three-wave correction there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you see these big three wavers, they sort of portend. You can see how this thing could run up to 1,500 really easily. So and Royal Gold is making new all-time highs today.
RG, what is it? RGLD.
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 I think they're making new all-time highs.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. It's
all-time historic highs.
Yeah, and it's just rare. I mean, this thing's going to be 110 before you know it. It's staggering, And look at the turnaround at the bottom there. I mean,
My goodness, yeah.
Very, this thing's got a habit of turning on a dime and going like a bat out of hell. So, it's a royalty. Every single dollar higher in gold is like probably a five-fold gain for Royal Gold. It's a really big, it's a very big deal. So it's just and the dusts are on the point of making new lows again. The nugget and the J-nug have exploded higher again.
Good Lord, look at that. This is a weekly. I'll break it down to a smaller time frame. That's a weekly on the dust.
I mean, that it's been going for 2 years, 3 years sideways. I mean, this thing breaks down. It just tells you what the upside is. And by the way, remember what we said about the, look at that. So, I mean, we're in this consolidation. It looks like the next leg down in this dust is going to be a big, another big move. Going to be down in single digits before you know it.
Yeah.
Breaking 10 for the dust is going to be diabolical, I'll tell you. And look at the powerful collapse that was triggered and what that portends. The other thing is the dollar is after going back to 96, it's just about to break 96 here again. So the dollar is potentially doomed. By the way, somebody beat me to it. I had to remember it was about a couple of weeks ago. I announced 3 or 4 weeks ago. Announced 82 as a target. That thing that I just sent you, they're looking for 80 on the dollar. Yeah, and they're basically saying, we're going to see an epic move in our lifetime, and juniors, emerging gold companies, they're talking about 10,000% upside. So. Don't be, to find a good junior to.
The last time we were at 80 on the dollar was what, 2014? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did you see Bitcoin?
I did not know.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking here on the show about a move.
Well, we said it would come back. Remember, we
yeah,
said
back
it
below
could come back to
10,000.
10 and maybe even 8.
Yep, sure did. Bitcoin, U.S. dollar. There you go.
Wow, that's a big
Daily.
spike. Look at that.
Yeah, that's on the weekly. Let me go to daily. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That weekly spike was huge. So we're back. We just got below 10,000. Now, my theory is that we'll play this game with 10,000 a couple times. It's such a big psychological number. But the time that we hold 10 on a pullback, in other words, we don't get below, we hold it and start higher, I think we could see a very rapid meteoric rise to the all-time high at 20,000. I mean, my goodness,
Yeah,
we got
you know,
halfway there. We got
obviously,
halfway
if they took out
there.
that spike, that would be monumental. But I'm inclined to think that the size of that spike is going to cool this market off a little bit for a while, and
It
potentially,
it is pretty pronounced. Look at that.
yeah, and it's likely to potentially come back to about 8, possibly even less. You know,
You think
could-
that far, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, be real careful now.
Well, we're gonna wait and we're gonna watch for the time that it holds 10. And you know, we may not get it right. We may have a false start, but that's okay. We know what we want to do. We're just now waiting for the right time to do it, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that is a pretty ominous. Look like on a monthly. Yeah. I mean, there you go. That's on a monthly. Now, John, my audio pops in and out, so like right now, you're probably talking, and the audience is going, why are these guys talking at the same time? They're working on my audio. The guys at GoToWebinar are trying to fix it. Oh, you just came back.
Okay.
You know?
All right, sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you know, what you got to be careful of is it's sort of like a stock going exponential. It's kind of like dry ships, you know, when we went up to 100, or you know, we went up to 100 and then we went down, and then there was a stock split or something, and the thing had another rally, you know, but this is a very big rally, but it could be a retest. And what I was saying is that it could start suffering from the same treatment that gold has been getting in the past. That would you know, the institutions come in and start shorting Bitcoin, you know, and forcing it down for their own benefits. So I wouldn't rule any of that out right now.
Okay. I brought dry ships up. The dry ship's actually looking like it might be ready to turn itself around.
Yeah, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, because you know, we could have a big move up. If you can squeeze that chart up and have a look at the history, it's just it's going to shock you. So,
Okay, I'll do that. Tim, I just sent you a message.
yeah,
Here, let me
see what I mean.
put this on weekly. Now, what? Something's wrong here. What's up?
Yeah, that
Go back to
150
daily.
million. I think that's where you and I went long when we jumped 40 to 40 to 4 to 40. The $100 spike is there. See that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the one we called to go long at about $4 or $5, and
Yep.
if you remember, I said
I remember.
sell at 102, go short at 101, or short at when it breaks 100. And next 3 days later was at $9, and you know, it split various times. And look at where it was. Look at how much they've split the stock. It's like that $100 is like what 800,000. So they've split the stock 8-fold since then. So
there's a 1 to 7
it's
split.
going to be,
There's a 1 to 5 split.
yeah. And I mean,
Let me start over here. Started out with a 1 to 4.
Yeah,
1 to 15. 1 to 8. 1 to 4. 1 to 7. 1 to 5. 1 to 7. Wow. What? What's the reasoning behind that? I mean, I understand stock splits,
Yeah,
etc.
it's not. It's probably split 80 times. So some 80. I don't know what the number is. Well, here's the thing. There's probably should be very, very few shares out right now, so it's pretty tight. That's why they have these spikes, because when the shares, when they reduce the shares down to a few million, it could have another spike. I don't think it's going to spike to $100 again, but it could definitely spike quite a bit. Especially if the shipping, if the shipping business turns up, which it looks like it's going to, based on what's going on with the Baltic index.
All right. What else you want to take a look at?
Well, the oil market, even though they put out some cuts, the market sold off on the proposed cuts. So the fact that gold is up so strongly today against the falling oil market, and a falling grain market as well, they're not buying this Chinese promise of buying at all at this point. So
the news was very upbeat, and then I saw a headline this morning that there was some hitch in the giddy up, as they say. What's happened? Is the China deal stalled again? Was there some negative news that came out?
It very well could be. It very well could be. Because the market, ever since yesterday, the market kind of been selling off from the highs, But that's not unusual before the July the 4th holiday. It can be a little bit soft in the first few days. The day, you probably want to buy. Well, they probably want to take a shot at buying. I mean, look, there's a little bit of risk of buying right now because you don't know what's going to happen with Iran over the holiday weekend. But
that's true.
The odds are fairly high that we're going to rally right after the holiday.
We have a full session on Friday. We'll be here.
Yeah.
It may be quiet,
Yeah, right.
but we're going to be here.
Yeah. And being a thin market, because a lot of people will be away, the market's probably going to move. So.
Yes, that's. I'm glad you brought that up. I have seen on these holidays where markets are open but trading is light, somebody with purpose and determination. It's very hard to move the indices because they're just so big and there's so much money involved. But when there's no opposing force, I've seen price on the S&P 500, as an example, move quite a distance on pretty light volume. I mean, it can happen. There's no opposing force. Now, John, on the S&P 500, we had a swing trade that we published Sunday night to be short from here at 29.67 down to 29.45. It already gave us 11.5 points. And then important prices, important areas, almost always tested. So we expected this. Now we're having such difficulty dropping. What do you see happening rest of today and tomorrow?
It looks like it's going to break out to the upside big time in the next few days.
Do you foresee it making it to this zone below? You think that's a possibility?
I can't rule. Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out. It could happen.
Everybody's had an opportunity to take money out of this. So, guys, here you have it officially. This is a warning, firing across your bow. If you have profit in the trade, and if you're uncomfortable with your position, and you don't think we're going to the target, or at least back to the swing low, then cover your position and wait for the next alert. Okay. So are you going to work Friday?
Quite an interesting day, all up.
Are you going to be here Friday?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow, and then I'm going to take a day off Thursday, going up to Oak Creek Canyon. A friend of mine, or my wife's sister, she has some kind of cabin or something rented on the creek, so we're going to run up there, leaving the kids here in the valley. So wife and I will be like teenagers again, no kids around.
Okay, well, good for you.
Go up, sit on the creek, dip my toe in the water, and come back and go to work Thursday night.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Globex will open Thursday night, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right, John.
Yeah, oh, by the way, just take a look at the TVIX, because
Sure.
that's a pretty good, everything we said was going to happen with that has actually happened even more. So
TVIX, wow. This is on 30-minute.
See that gap down? I mean, it's pretty bearish now for the TBIX, so it's really portending higher markets in a big way, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right.
Because, when there's no premium in this TBIX, there's really no risk of being long the market, other than the regular risks that we have to always think of,
Hey, John, these new micro E-mini contracts they've come out with? Have you looked at those?
Not yet, no.
Because I didn't see much use for them or purpose, but I've seen a lot of other people get, kind of excited about them. And Bert, our broker, was in the room this morning with us, and he talked a little bit. I'm having him come on the show and talk tomorrow. He actually says a lot of people are using them and like them because the way the pricing is structured, you can sort of emulate what you might try to do with options, except you don't have the time decay factor involved.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask him to come tomorrow and just talk with all of us. And so any of you guys out there that have questions on the new S&P, Dow, Russell, NQ micro contracts, the overnight margin is $600. I wrote it down somewhere.
What's the actual value?
It's 1/5 of an E-mini contract.
Okay.
So for intraday trading, instead of 500 margin, it's 100 margin, and then for overnight
so like
trading,
it's 600
it's 600.
instead of what? It's like 6.
Yeah, 600 overnight margin. And the payout, instead of it being $50 a point, it's $5 a point. Oh wait, is it 10? Val, is it 5 or 10? Somebody in the audience help me. If you were in the room this morning listening to Bert. It's supposed to be 1/5, so 1/5 would be $10. Oh, I can't hear anybody talk because of my.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you just came back. John.
Okay. Yeah, the European markets, Dwayne, looks like they're ready to break out sharply to the upside. Probably as this news about Christine Lagarde keep that gold shut up for a minute because I want to comment on it.
Okay.
But the European markets look, and the Nikkei as well, all look very bullish here, and so they could have a pretty good finish to the week, pretty strong week. Look, this is very interesting because it goes back to 1970, and you can see, when you see this chart, the pullbacks are fairly short-lived. This one in the mid-70s was only 2 years, and then it skyrocketed, and then you had a 20-year correction, and then another massive move upwards, right? Mm-hmm. From a 207-fold move, from $250 to $1,900, mm-hmm. And then this. Remember, back in we're sort of in emulating, if you like, the initial move from 35 to 200 back to 76, which was 104.6, and then up to 850. So this correction that we're in right now is a little bit of a longer version than the previous one in the 70s, but it is equally as shallow, if you like. It's about the same depth as this is actually more of a correction because it was a 50%er. But and now we're looking like we're breaking out to the upside, right? And look at where this thing could go. I mean, it's basically looking for an eightfold move in gold and maybe a 10-fold move in silver. And you can see how that could unfold here over the coming years. And obviously, if there's going to be continuous QE going on, and I'm going to pull out all the stops to get Trump reelected.
Now, who's talking about QE, John? I haven't. Are they talking about doing QE again?
The Fed lowering rates. The Fed lowering rates. And that's the gist.
Okay, but they're not planning to do what they did before, which was create money and go buy their own bonds at the auction.
Don't know yet. You don't know yet.
Well, that's true.
You don't know. And secondly, look at what basically what the writing behind that chart is saying is that if the bonds, fall, if the bond yields fall, like they did before, and start going back down towards zero, you're really going to get a multi-$1,000 move up in gold. So it's, the writing's on the wall, and it's pretty compelling. It's a very well put together series of thoughts,
Yeah, I see it.
It's believable because, it's just a matter of life, life after boom. It's just, a cycle can only last so long, and then they have to start another cycle, and it usually involves rate cuts. And look, while Jerome Powell may be getting slammed or hammered for raising rates, too rapidly, there, the other side of the argument could be that the Fed needed to raise rates that much, so they got to reload the interest rate gun. They've got to reload they've got to get, they've got potentially, 10 rate cuts in the, up their sleeve right now, if push comes to shove. So that, in a way, by overclocking the interest rate rises, they've got more flexibility to kind of stimulate in a more traditional way by lowering rates over the, and there's supposedly there's 3 rate cuts baked in the cake right now.
Really?
Yeah. So, that'll be gigantic if that happens.
What's this business on Nike pulling these sneakers, the flag sneakers?
I don't know. These people, there's such a political correctness and all this nonsense. It's just crazy.
Nike's yanking a USA-themed sneaker featuring an early
because they said it was racist or something. Because this Kaepernick guy accused them of being racist.
Somebody needs to take this guy out behind a woodshed and spank him. I mean, really. Talk about you're spoiled, overpaid, full of themselves.
Yeah, another Jesse Smollett, the same sort of syndrome.
Go send him to work in one of those Chinese concentration camps for 6 months, and then, he'd be falling all over that flag.
I mean, listen, they're just not getting the memo. Trump is doing so many things for the benefit of everybody. I mean, look at all the things he's been doing for blacks in prison. He's the lowest unemployment rate ever. It's and it's potentially going to keep on going. It's going to get better and better, especially if they pull out all the stops here in the next couple of years.
Oh, look what Arizona's doing. The blowback to Nike's decision to pull Betsy Ross American flag sneakers didn't take long. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey today said he's rescinding financial incentives recently offered to the maker of athletic shoes to build a $185 million plant and bring 500 jobs to the state.
Well, that's kind of shooting yourself in the foot a bit too.
It is. As I was reading that, I thought, well, wait a minute. You're making a statement. I understand that, but you're also costing us 500 jobs. Not so good. Oh, and I was going to open the show with this APS explosion. I don't know if you heard about this, but what a tragedy. There was an explosion downtown, right by where we used to have our office. And this gentleman right here, Rico, he was a good friend of mine, and he was my son's youth leader at church.
Wow.
He led the youth, took them on all kinds of outings and on trips. And just, man, this is the kind of guy I want to be when I grow up. I mean, he was just that kind of a man. Just well-respected. Everyone loved him. Even his kids loved him. I mean, that's amazing. And he was working, and they were down in a manhole, him and one other guy. The other guy got out with some pretty serious burns, but Rico didn't make it out. Well, Rico, this show's for you, brother.
Must be very tough for your kids doing that.
Oh, my son yesterday was just... my daughter, she's made out of cast iron, which worries me a little bit, but my son was really broken up over it yesterday. I mean, and I haven't really talked about this on the radio, but sometime back, my son, who's 17 now, he ran away and was gone for more than a couple days. And Rico came and talked to me and counseled with me, and he said, you know what, Dwayne, he's at that age, you're just going to have to let him find himself. He's smart enough to stay out of trouble and to stay away from bad people. He's trying to make a point to you and to his mom. He said, just believe God, pray for him, and he'll be back. And he's back, and things are better than they were before he left. But that was the kind of guy Rico was. He could just speak truth into your life, and you knew he was hearing from God. He wasn't just making stuff up. So,
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
Indeed. Well, he spent his life serving God, so he could spend his eternity with God. So,
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Yeah, you too. Thanks very much, Dwayne. Have a great afternoon,
Okay.
everybody. Much
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okie doke. We've talked about the S&P. We talked about crude. Now from here, in case you're wondering what the next high probability move is in crude, right, we'll make this the radio freebie. Okay. Price went from zone to zone to zone, back up to the zone. And so consider $57 to $56.70. If price goes from 57 to 56.70, that's 30 ticks at $10 a tick, so it's $300 per contract traded. Now I know that some would question, rightfully so, well, if that's what you think is going to happen, why cheat yourself out of 20 cents of the move? I mean, price right now is at 57 and a quarter. Why not just go short right here, right now, and then you could be short 57 and a quarter to 56, even 75, and now it becomes a $500 per contract trade. Great question. I'm glad I asked. I want to see price get below this trend line, and I want to see it get below the low of the current candle. See? Because I don't know for sure that it's going down. None of us know what's going to happen next. And the sooner you admit that to yourself, the better you'll feel. Because traders spend so much time and treasure trying to know the future. Go read the Bible. That's not how God created the world. He didn't create the world so that we could know the future. We can remember the past. We can speculate about the future, but we can't know it. Your ability to know the future is directly linked to your ability to change the past. How's that working? So, crude, based on order flow, if some buyer, some big enough buyer, some institution thinks crude is really cheap right here, and they start buying this thing, they start just hitting the offer, bang, 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 this thing can shoot up because of order flow. See, order flow is what moves markets. Not Dwayne, not Michael, not John, not you. Not any of our thoughts, ideas, indicators, oscillators, pretty charts, trend lines. That doesn't move markets. Only one thing can move a market: order flow. If there's more buy orders than sell orders, price is going up. If there's more sell orders than buy orders, price is going down. End of story. Now, we want to know why price is going up. Okay, I just told you. All right, so if it's the order flow, then Mr. Reeves, why, pray tell, are there more buy orders right now than sell orders? Or why are there more sell orders than buy orders? You just hit a brick wall called the unknowable. You got to accept that. If you accept it, it might make you restless for a day, but it's going to bring with it great peace as you move forward. It's unknowable. Kind of like, what did God do before he created the heavens and the earth? He didn't tell us. Therefore, it's unknowable. Okay? and why there's suddenly more buy orders than sell orders or sell orders than buy orders, we can speculate. I mean, that's what these guys do on TV all day long on CNBC. They see what happens in the market, and then they try to find some reason to pin it on. It might be fundamental, Trump sent out a tweet. It might be technical, a 200-day moving average, whatever they can find that just kind of makes sense. That's what they do and what they talk about. I'm not putting them down. I'm not saying they're wrong. Not at all. I'm just saying if they admitted to the investing public that they really don't know, because you got to think about it. The whole channel, Fox Business, CNBC, more CNBC than Fox, but anyway, it's geared to give you the impression, the illusion, if you will, that these different talking heads that they parade out actually know what's going to happen next. They don't. Now, if they admitted that to their audience, the audience might stop tuning in. Well, I don't know, and if they don't know, why am I sitting here all day watching them speculate about stuff? Right? Am I right? Let me just, before we do the good word for the day and head out of here. Oh, all right. Think about this. Let's say you get an email. How easily are these illusions perpetuated? That people know what's going to happen next? This is a very crude but very effective method, and I'm going to expose it just so you don't fall prey to it, okay? Very important. Let's say you get an email that says, now I'm just going to pull numbers out of the air. The S&P is at 2,500, and it's going to go to 3,500. So some guru, some talking head, some guy with a TV show or radio show sends you an email that says, hey, I'm a pretty smart guy. You should subscribe to my services because the S&P 500 is about to go from 2,500 to 3,500. You with me? Okay. Now, he doesn't just send the email to you. Maybe he sends it to 10,000 other people. You can buy these email lists pretty cheap, right? And you know what? I'm going to make this easier to understand, okay? Guru sends you an email that says tomorrow S&P is going to go up. And the email goes to 10,000 people. I'm sorry. He's going to send 5,000 people the email that says it's going up. And he's going to send 5,000 people the email that says it's going down. I'll get my story straight here in a minute. He's got an email list of 10,000. He tells 5,000 people it's going up. He tells 5,000 people it's going down. 5,000 people are about to think he's really smart. Now, of course, if you got the up email, you don't know he also sent a down email, right? So this happens on a Monday morning, early, right? On Tuesday, you think, that fellow pretty smart. He was right. Okay, so now he's working with 5,000 names. So he's going to send an email that tells 2,500 of those people the market's going up, and he's going to tell 2,500 people the market's going down, right? So by Wednesday, he looks like a doggone genius to 2,500 people. Then he sends out an email to 1,250 people. Market's going to go up. And 1,250 people, he tells the market's going to go down. Man, when Friday rolls around, you really do think this guy is some kind of genius. He's got 600 people now that he's been right every stinking time. I mean, that might even get my attention. Some guy sends me an email, 6 days in a row, he's right every time. I thought, maybe he's on to something, right? So we roll into the next week, 300 people are told it's going up, 300 people are told it's going down. Well, now 300 people would love to take him to dinner. You see where we're going here. I mean, we can keep grinding this thing down until he's got a list of 10, 15, 20 people who all have money because he bought lists of people who have money. So by the time he gets down to 15, 20 people, he's been right 100% of the time based on just the emails you got. Now, the other people he was wrong, he just stopped sending them emails. That game's over, right? And what if somebody accurately predicted the direction of the market to you every day, 3 weeks in a row? Would you maybe pay him $10,000 for his service? If you were a millionaire, might you pay him $50,000? I mean, these people are out there. This is a very crude and simple scam, right? They get much more complicated, much more sophisticated. These people have a greater interest in your money than you do, all right? Don't allow people to take advantage of you. Just don't. Don't stand for it. And I promise you there are people trying, not just in the financial markets, but in all kind of other areas of life. Now, I'm not saying everybody out there is a bad guy. No. I'm just saying there are bad actors on the stage. Make sure you do business with a good actor. Get some references. Talk to some people. Follow everything that they do. Don't trust a blind email like this. Okay? Make sure the information is being posted somewhere publicly, kind of like this. Hang on. Kind of like this, so that you don't see, in the blind email, you only see when he's right. But when you publish something like this to 187 people, everybody knows that got to the first target. Everybody knows this got to the final target. From 740 to 675. Everybody knows these two got stopped out. Got to the first target, never triggered. Got to the target, there's only one target there. This one never triggered. 2 more stop outs. So we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 stop outs so far. This one hit the target. This one was a PT. This one hit the target. This one hit the target. This one hit the target. This is a PT. This hit the target. Target. Russell, NQ, Crude, Gold, Crude. This one never triggered. This one reached the target. This one got stopped out. The PT hit the target, hit the target. And that's right up through what was published at, now you're seeing Pacific time on my computer, right? When I hover over this, see where it says 111? If you hover over the same thing, if you're on the East Coast, you'll see 411. Because Telegram reads your computer clock. So it's going to display time in your time zone. So you'll look at the same thing on your computer. If you're on the East Coast, it'll say 411, okay? Because it's reading your computer clock. All right, just want to make sure you understand that. So just whoever you're doing business with in the financial markets, and maybe other places too, just make sure that the information that you're trusting them for, right, the information you're paying them for, that you weren't, at least make them work hard if they're going to steal your money. Make it be sophisticated, right? Don't fall for something, that simple. And there's many ways to vet stuff. Again, yes, you can look at testimonials. You can talk to clients. You got to believe that whoever you're talking to is really a client and not some, paid shill. I don't mean to be suspicious of folks, but I've been around the block a time or two. Now, there's plenty of honest companies out there to do business with. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find somebody that will be honest and straightforward with you and not deal off the bottom of the deck. Okay? Okay. So tomorrow I'll do a full recap on the Logic 247. I know a lot of you have been on the trial, on the open house since Sunday night. You've seen a lot happen, a lot come by, and I'm sure you have questions. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow right after the radio show. I'm going to dash out of the studio into my awaiting daddy van. I'm going to be whisked away for a 24-hour whirlwind tour of Oak Creek Canyon. I'll be back Thursday night. And so talk to Valerie in the meantime. Email her at support@cfrn.net. The structure of the passport is changing. I mentioned this the other day, and I'm going to put this in the chat box. I'll put it up on the screen. I'll also put it in the chat box. If you are already a passport holder, or if you become a passport holder before the 4th, that's why we're having this special, then you won't be affected. Let me just say that clearly so nobody freaks out. If you are already a passport holder, this change in the structure will not affect you. We will not ever change the rules to the game on you in the middle of the game. That's just wrong. And we work hard to try to always do the next right thing. Okay, let's see. A little bit more. There. There we go. Passport changes. Until the 4th of July, the structure remains the same and still includes everything for life. This includes both Logic 247 alerts and Concierge Trade Alerts. Again, current passport holders, don't worry, you are locked in for life. Nothing changes for you. If you have an interest in finding out what the passport includes, reach out to Valerie for a price list and a description. Support@cfrn.net or call her 949-42-EMINI, 949-423-6464. You can also book a free mentoring session while you're on the trial here. I'll spend 45 minutes with you, or if you want to spend time with Michael, you can do that, or you can split it up. Just speak to Valerie. She'll set it up for you. Now, again, I'm dashing out of here tomorrow as soon as the show's over, so I won't be available tomorrow afternoon. I will be available Friday. So if you need to meet with me, you can. If you just want to get a price list and a description of the passport, email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. And in that description and price list, it will explain to you exactly what's changing. And I'll just tell you, currently, if you become a CFRN passport holder, you get the Logic 247 alerts for life. After July 4th, the alerts are still included with the passport for 1 year. Then the Logic 247 alerts are renewable on an annual basis. Anyone who's already a passport holder, you're locked for life. Anyone who becomes a passport holder before July 4th, before the holiday, you'll also be locked for life. And then going forward, July 5th on, when someone signs up, the description will read Logic 247 for 1 year. It will renew on the annual anniversary each and every year, unless you decide that you don't want to receive them anymore. And then, of course, you notify us a week or so ahead of when you get billed. It's because we don't want to bill you if you don't want to continue. Okay. Now, I mentioned this yesterday. The Logic 247 alerts are really beneficial for someone who is just learning how to trade Emini Futures in gold and crude. You're learning the method. You're learning how to read the indicators. We're teaching you everything we know. And we're showing you live real-time alerts and setups as they happen and develop. That just hastens the learning curve so much. Now, there'll come a time when you start to see because you've been through the process so many times, you start, I think he'll probably be putting out an alert here on the S&P in a minute, because it looks like it's setting up the way it always does when we get an alert to go long or to go short. And then, here it comes. And you just keep doing what you're doing. Keep your head down, shoulder to the wheel. Don't look to the left or right. Just keep pressing in. Pretty soon, you'll be writing down, man, it looks like I should go long here at 27.42. Consider being long at 27.42. Now, instead of being alerted to the setup, you're having the setup confirmed, because you've progressed to the point where you now understand it. You see it. That's our goal. We don't want you to be dependent on us for life. We certainly want you to be a part of the CFRN family for life. We don't want you to be dependent on us or anyone else. Okay? Also, Trading in the Spirit, coming out spring 2020. I put an excerpt last night in Telegram, or this morning. If you don't have access to the Telegram discussion channel, get a hold of Valerie, and she'll make that happen for you. I had a message the other day from one of our longtime partners. And he said, my first down day in 7 days yesterday, because I did not pay attention to the Concierge Trade Alerts, simply dropped the ball and learned a good lesson. I responded, mistakes are magically transmuted into learning experiences when viewed through that lens. He said, thanks, I'm having more fun than ever looking for my trade of the day, his daily goal. And then he said, it only takes one to get your goal. And I said, turning the knot in your stomach into quiet anticipation is a huge milestone. Congratulations. And then he said, my next goal is to learn to put the mouse away. I had my goal yesterday and I lost it. My response, recognizing the problem is half the battle, perhaps 75%. And then, step one, we admitted we were powerless over the market and that our lives had become unmanageable. Some of you will resemble that remark. Step two, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step three, we made a decision to turn our trading and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. Step four, we undertook a searching and fearless inventory of ourselves, our beliefs, and preconceived notions about how markets work. Step five, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to a trader we trust, the exact nature of our wrong thinking. Step six, we are now ready to have God and our mentor help remove all these defects of character. That is an excerpt from the 12 Steps to Emini Trading, a trader's handbook for unlimited prosperity, due out next spring as a bonus chapter of Trading in the Spirit. And if you click that link in the discussion group, it will take you here. eminitradingbook.com. Trading in the Spirit. There's a fresh wind blowing down Wall Street, a fire stirring in the hearts of men. Click this, prepare for the adventure. Reserve your copy today. And you can grab a mentoring session as well if you want one or need one. Down in the comments section, it says, if I could grant you one trading wish, think big, what would you wish for? Send a message. Tell me about your trading goals. Where are you on the path today? Where would you like to be in a year? We'll schedule you a mentoring session. And here's my promise. If I can help you find the peace and prosperity you seek, I will. As will Michael. As will Val. As will the other traders who are already a part of the CFRN experience. Because I've watched these guys. I train these guys, and they love to give back. All right. Good word for the day. Oh, look what I did. Not sure how to recover from this. Isn't there supposed to be a thing like move? Let me see, move somewhere. So I'm up out of the screen and I can't get that. All that'll do is just pull it. Oh, there we go. I didn't think that would do it, but it did. Excellent. All right, good word for the day. Got it ready. Pretty sure. Here we go. It's contagious. What, bird flu? Well, that too, I think. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Bad company corrupts good character. Now, if you've ever worked in an office, you know that if somebody has a bad attitude, that can be contagious and it can affect the whole crew. And a good manager will tell that person with the bad attitude to get up and get out, at least for the day. Likewise, a positive can-do attitude, that's contagious as well. And a good manager recognizes that quality in a person and pretty soon has them on a fast track to a leadership position. Cold and flu viruses aren't the only things that are contagious. Attitudes are also. Bad company corrects good character. Researchers call it emotional contagion, and it affects every aspect of life in the same way a rotten apple taints the whole barrel. John Gordon says, one negative employee can pollute an entire squad and create a toxic work environment. One negative leader can make work miserable for his or her team. An employee in a bad mood can turn off countless customers. Complaining can act like a cancer and spread through the entire organization, sabotaging the morale and performance of teams who have great talent and great potential. You're not just a creation of your culture. You are creating it every day through your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. You can be negatively or positively contagious. You can be a germ and attack your organization's immune system, or you can act like a good dose of vitamin C and strengthen it. Just remember, your emotions impact the world around you. Paul said in Ephesians 4:22 and 23, put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its sinful desires, and being made new in the attitude of your minds. How? How do we do that? By asking God to make you a different person. Read 1 Samuel 10:6. Ask God to make you a different person and change your attitude from one of negative contagion to one that positively impacts the people you deal with every day. At the same time, be very selective about the company you keep. You know from experience the people who drag you down and drain your energy. You also know the people who pump you up and help you set higher goals for yourself. They raise the bar, they raise the standard in your life. Try to spend more time with those people. The people who drag you down and drain your energy, don't hang out with them any more than you have to, but please pray for them. Pray for them that God will speak to them. And don't spend too much time in their company, because if they have a stronger personality than you, guess what? One of you is going to pull the other one over the line. If you're positive, upbeat, and this person's negative and depressing, put you two in a room working together on a project, it's going to be like a tug of war. One guy's going to go, oh man, this ain't never going to work. I don't see how we're going to meet this deadline. The other person is saying, wow, look at the opportunity here. If we do this, this, and this, I believe we can bring this in. You can't hardly get the words out. You're so excited. One of you will eventually wear the other one down. You'll either pull the negative person over to your side, or they'll pull you over to their side. If you struggle with, which side you're on, just put yourself in the company of positive people. When you're firmly grounded in the way, in the emotional state that God wants you to be in, which is happy, prosperous, productive, now you can go back and save the drowning man. But you'll never save anybody if you don't save yourself first. All right? This is important. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.